Hi, this is Chira Kiranmay, and in this video we are going to examine the abdomen. For abdomen, common and concerning symptoms are gastrointestinal disorders and urinary and renal disorders.
Today I'm going to examine your abdomen. Is that fine with you? Okay, so we'll proceed with the examination.
Examination of abdomen. Before we start the examination, make sure that the patient has emptied his bladder. Lower the table flat and ask the patient to lie down and relax. Expose the supine patient's lower abdomen to below the nipple line and lowering the drape to suprapubic level. Inspect the skin for scars, striae, dilated veins, rashes, and ecchymosis. Inspect the symmetry and contour of the abdomen. Is it flat, rounded, protuberant, or markedly concave or hollowed? Or are there any bulges? Observe the contour of the umbilicus to look for signs of inflammation or hernias or peristalsis and aortic pulsations visible in the epigastrium. Warm your hands and your stethoscope. Listen for bowel sounds by placing the diaphragm of the stethoscope gently over each quadrant. Listen to the abdomen before performing percussion because these maneuvers may alter the frequency of bowel sounds. Occasionally, you may hear the stomach growling. If the patient have high blood pressure or atherosclerotic disease, listen in the epigastrium over the aorta, then listen over the iliac arteries and the femoral arteries. Next, lightly percuss the abdomen to assess the distribution of tympani and dullness. Tympani is a high-pitched musical sound that indicates a hollow space filled by air or gas in the stomach or intestine. Dullness suggests fluid or underlying organs like the liver and spleen. Now palpate the four quadrants of the abdomen, beginning gently and saving the painful areas for last. With your fingers together, place your hand flat on the abdomen and press using a light dipping motion, moving smoothly. Palpate all quadrants, identifying any tenderness or increased resistance to your hand. Observe the patient's face closely for indications of tenderness or discomfort. If the abdominal muscles are tensed, try to relax the patient and palpate gently again. Having the patient flexed the knees is often helpful than palpate by pressing more deeply on all four quadrants as you feel for any masses or tenderness, placing one hand on top of the other. Watch closely for signs of an acute abdomen from inflammation. Signs of acute abdomen include abdominal pain with coughing, rigid or board like abdomen, guarding, rebound tenderness, and percussion tenderness. Examining the liver. Percuss the span of the liver. First, locate the midclavicular line. Use the line to moderate percussion strike, starting at a level below the umbilicus in the right lower quadrant in an area of tympani. Percuss up towards the liver. Identify the lower border of dullness in the midclavicular line. Next, identify the upper border of liver dullness starting the nipple line. Lightly percuss from longer resonance down towards the liver dullness. Measure their span of liver dullness between those 2 points. The normal liver span is in man is greater than women in general, approximately 6 to 12 centimeters in right midclavicular line and 4 to 8 centimeters in mid-sternal line. To palpate the liver, place your left hand behind the lower thorax, lifting up the 11th and 12th ribs overlying soft tissues. Place your right hand just below the right upper quadrant, lateral to the rectus abdominis muscle, and dwell below the lower border of the liver dullness. Press gently into the abdomen and ask the patient breathe in deeply. Try to feel for the liver edge. as it moves down to meet your fingertips. If possible, let the liver slip under your finger pads as you feel its anterior surface. You often need to try again, moving your fingertips closer to the costal margin. The hooking techniques may also be helpful. Standing to the right of the patient's chest, place the fingers of both hands below the border of liver dullness and press in and up towards the costal margin. Ask the patient to take another deep breath to assess the tenderness when the liver is not palpable. Place your left hand on the right lower rib cage and gently strike it with the ulnar surface of your right fist and ask the patient to compare the sensation. Examining the spleen. When a spleen enlarges, it expands anteriorly, downward, and medially, often replacing the tympani of stomach and colon with the dullness of a solid organ. It then comes to palpable below the costal margin. To palpate the spleen to assess its size, reach over and around the patient with your left hand to support the left lower posterior rib cage and overlying structures. Place your right hand below the costal margin and press in with your fingers towards the spleen. When the patient takes a deep breath, try to feel the spleen as it comes down to meet your fingertip. The tip of the spleen is palpable in only 5% of normal adults. Alternatively, ask the patient to turn onto the right side with legs somewhere flexed to the hips. In that position, gravity may bring the spleen forward and to the right into the palpable location. To help detect splenomegaly, enlarged spleen, percuss the left lower anterior chest wall roughly from the border of cardiac dullness at the sixth rib to the anterior axillary line and down to the costal margin. This is an area called Brought's space. As you percuss along this route, note the lateral extent of tympani. If tympani is prominent, especially laterally, splenomegaly is not likely. Then ask the patient to take a deep breath and percuss again. When spleen size is normal, the percussion note usually remains tympanitic. When the spleen is enlarged, tympani often changes to dullness. Dullness is a positive sign. It may be falsely positive, but its presence may mean you should perform careful palpation. Examining the kidneys. Normally, kidneys are not often palpable, but learning the techniques for examination helps you distinguish enlarged kidneys from other enlarged organs and abdominal masses. To palpate the left kidney, move to the patient's left side and place your right hand behind the patient, chest below, and parallel to the right 12th rib with your fingertips just reaching the costovertebral angle. Lift trying to displace the kidneys anteriorly. Place your left hand gently on the left upper quadrant lateral and parallel to the rectus muscle. Now ask the patient to take a deep breath at the peak of inspiration. Press your left hand firmly and deeply into the left upper quadrant just below the costal margin and try to capture the kidney between your hands. Ask the patient to breathe out and then stop breathing or hold their breath. Slowly release the pressure of your left hand, feeling at the same time for the kidney to slide back into its expiratory position. If the kidney is palpable, assess the size, contour, and any tenderness of the kidney. To capture the patient's right kidney, return to the patient's right side and use your left hand to lift up from the back and your right hand to feel deep in the right upper quadrant. Proceed as before. A normal right kidney may be palpable, especially when the patient is thin and the abdominal muscles are relaxed. Assess the aorta. To assess the aorta, press the upper abdomen slightly left of midline and feel for the aortic pulsation. Now try to assess the width of the aorta, especially an older smokers are at risk for an abdominal aorta aneurysm. Pressing gently on the each side of the aorta, try to estimate its width. Normally it should be less than 3 centimeters. With the patient sitting up, assess for costovertebral angle tenderness or CVAT seen in pyelonephritis. Place the ball of your left hand on each costovertebral angle in return and strike it with the ulnar surface of your fist. Normally, there is no tenderness over the kidneys. Special techniques. With practice, you will also be able to utilize special techniques for assessing possible ascites, including percussing outward in several directions from the central area of tympani. Two additional techniques are testing for shifting dullness. Percussing the border of tympani and dullness with the patient supine, then turning the patient onto one side and percussing again. Testing for a fluid wave by tapping one flank sharply with your fingertips while you feel on the opposite flank for an impulse transmitted through the fat. Individuals with more body fat will need 2 sets of hands for this test. You should also be able to assess for possible appendicitis by searching carefully for an area of local tenderness called McBurney's point, which lies 2 centimeters from the anterior superior spinous process of ileum on a line drawn on the umbilicus. Assess the psoas sign. Place your hand just above the patient right knee and ask the patient to raise that thigh against your hand. Alternatively, ask the patient on the left side, then extend the patient's right side at the hip. Flexion of the leg at the hip makes the psoas muscle contract and extension stretches it. Increased abdominal pain on either maneuvers are positive psoas sign. Suggesting irritation of the psoas muscle is by an inflamed appendicitis. Obturator's sign. First, flex the patient's right thigh at the hip with the knee bent and rotate the leg internally at the hip. This maneuver stretch is the internal obturate muscle. Right hypogastric pain is a positive obturator sign for irritation of the obturator muscle by an inflamed appendix.